Hello and welcome to the Luv Doc podcast with hosts Waldo Wachewski and Ophelia Bruschi.
Let's start today with a scenario. You've been seeing someone for about 2 years. By all accounts, it's a really solid relationship.
Right. The chemistry's there. You respect each other.
Exactly. You even enjoy cooking dinner together on Tuesdays. But then completely out of nowhere, you get dumped.
And not for the usual reasons.
Yeah. Not because you cheated. Not because you have different habits or life goals. But because you aren't, wait for it, good enough at video games.
And to add insult to injury, because you find yourself getting a little bored while watching anime.
It sounds like a joke, doesn't it? Like a parody of a bad modern breakup. But this is the exact reality for a letter writer who calls herself Gamer's Ex. She's the subject of the Luv Doc today.
Dated February 27, 2025.
And I have to say, right off the bat, this is not your typical, communication is key kind of advice column.
No, it is absolutely not. This Luv Doc is a roller coaster. It starts as this simple inquiry about a breakup over hobbies, but it very quickly spirals into a full-blown philosophical treatise.
Oh yeah, on the dangers of groupthink, the toxicity of political conformity, and I promise I'm not making this up, the etymological roots of 19th century Dutch slang for excrement.
It's wild. But the core question the Luv Doc poses is actually quite profound.
It is. It's something I think anyone who has ever swiped on a dating app has asked themselves. Does a successful relationship require 100% shared interests?
Right. If I love hiking and you hate the outdoors, is the relationship doomed?
Or if I love gaming and you prefer reading, the Luv Doc takes a very hard, very cynical stance on that question.
So, our mission today is to decode the Luv Doc's logic.
We're going to look at why he thinks sameness is actually a massive red flag, and how he connects a breakup over World of Warcraft to the collapse of independent thought in modern society.
So let's lay out the crime scene first. We have our letter writer, Gamer's Ex. She writes that she was with this guy for nearly 2 years. And the reason he gives for ending it is explicitly stated. He says he, quote, can't be in a relationship with someone who doesn't share his interests.
And we need to look closely at that list of interests because it's not a broad list. He has a very specific set of requirements.
Yeah, it's gaming, anime, and electronic dance music.
EDM, the holy trinity of a very specific internet subculture. But here's the detail in the text that made me stop and reread. The letter writer mentions that he likes cooking.
She also likes cooking.
They presumably cook together, but the boyfriend explicitly says that cooking doesn't count for his list.
That right there is the crucial psychological tell in the letter.
Why? I mean, if the goal is doing things with your partner, cooking is perfect, it's collaborative, you're creating something, you eat the result. Why disqualify it?
Because, based on the text, he disqualified it specifically because she already liked it.
Wow.
If she already enjoys it, it doesn't serve his purpose. It implies that he isn't looking for connection or a shared activity. He's looking for conversion.
He wants her to enter his world.
Right. Adopt his hobbies and essentially become a mirror image of him. Cooking was neutral ground, and this guy clearly isn't interested in neutral ground.
He wants home field advantage only.
Exactly. He wants a disciple, not a partner.
And the tragic part is, she really tried to be that disciple. She admits in the letter that she tried to get into gaming, but, and this is so common for adults trying to pick up a complex hobby, she wasn't instantly good at it.
No. And she says she was bad at it, quote, according to him and his friends.
That phrase, according to him and his friends, it changes the dynamic completely.
It really does. It stops being a fun hobby and starts being a performance review. When you're learning something new for a partner, stepping out of your comfort zone, the correct response from them is encouragement.
Right. Good job. You didn't die immediately.
Yes. Hey, thanks for trying. This is fun.
Yeah.
But here, she's being judged by a tribunal. It signals a total lack of empathy on his part.
He's prioritizing her skill level in a video game over her feelings as a human being.
And she also mentions trying anime, but getting bored.
Which, hey, valid. It's a specific storytelling style. It's not for everyone. But her argument to the Luv Doc is so reasonable. She writes, I never complain. I want him to be happy. Isn't respect enough?
She's arguing for the validity of separate spheres. The idea that she can be the I and he can be the him, and they meet in the middle to form the we.
But the boyfriend is demanding total enmeshment. He wants the we to just be a bigger version of him.
Exactly. So she sends this desperate plea to the Luv Doc. Is he right? Do we have to be the same?
And the Luv Doc's response is not the gentle, therapeutic, I hear you, that you might expect.
It is visceral.
Yeah.
He opens his verdict with two very specific words, Balderdash and Poppycock.
I don't think I've heard poppycock used in a sentence since my grandfather passed away. It feels like he's putting on a costume using this archaic language.
It's a rhetorical power move. By using these old-timey, slightly ridiculous words, he's immediately signaling that the ex-boyfriend's demands aren't just wrong. They're laughable.
They belong in the dustbin of history.
Exactly. But he doesn't just leave it there. He actually stops the advice column to give the reader an etymology lesson.
He cites Google. He breaks down the definitions. Let's start with poppycock.
He defines poppycock as mid-19th century Dutch slang for soft poop.
Soft poop. I admit I laughed. It's such a childish image for a published advice column.
But it's effective. He's taking the ex-boyfriend's high and mighty philosophy that we must be one and reducing it to excrement.
And then Balderdash.
He defines that as a 16th century term for a jumbled, unappetizing mixture of liquors, specifically beer mixed with wine or milk.
Beer and milk. That actually made my stomach turn a little just reading it.
And he adds the word cheddar in parentheses. He wants the reader to feel physically repulsed. He's saying this idea that you must be clones, it's soft poop, it's curdled milk.
He's priming the audience to reject the boyfriend's logic before he even starts his main argument.
Right, and he goes on to say the world is literally teeming with couples who don't share interests.
But then, and here's where the Luv Doc really begins. He doesn't just say it's okay to be different. He says, honestly, to me, it feels a little creepy when a couple shares too many interests.
This is where we leave standard relationship advice and enter the Luv Doc's worldview. He views sameness not as compatibility, but as a pathology. He explicitly calls it creepy.
And he extends this creepiness beyond just romance. He says he gets real uncomfortable when too many people seem to be on the same page. And he uses this slippery slope argument that escalates so fast it gave me whiplash.
It's quite a list.
He starts with innocent things. Face painting, teen jerseys, cross-wearing. Okay, standard group identity stuff. But then, in the same breath, he jumps to Maggie hats, then goose-stepping, and finally the extreme endpoint.
Wearing a mask, hunting down people who don't look like you.
It is an aggressive escalation.
He's using a technique called reductio ad absurdum, taking an argument to its most extreme conclusion to show it's flawed.
Right.
He's arguing that the impulse to wear matching jerseys is, at its core, the same psychological impulse that leads to fascism.
That feels like a massive stretch, though. Is he really saying that liking the same video game leads to hunting people down in masks?
He's arguing that the desire for conformity is the root cause. He sees sharing interests as the first step towards surrendering your individual identity to the group.
And once you surrender your identity, once you stop thinking for yourself and just do what the group does, you become capable of terrible things.
Precisely.
Holy crap! You're psychotically obsessed with the Luv Doc, but can't think of a flashy gauche way to share your obsession with the world? Stop thinking and make a beeline for the Luv Doc's home sweet home on the interwebs, thepleasurecraft.com, where you can find a veritable treasure trove of sick merch that will make even your coolest friends super gel. Honestly, I don't know why you didn't already think of this yourself, but you're welcome. Have fun on the Pleasure Craft. It was made just for you. Let me spell it out for you one more time. www.thepleasurecraft.com.
Now, we do have to address the political element here, because the text is not neutral.
Not at all. The Luv Doc has some very specific, very loud political opinions that he weaves into this relationship advice. And he is clearly targeting one side of the spectrum.
He is. The Luv Doc explicitly critiques the right-wing political spectrum. He brings up MAGA hats specifically, and he says, quote, "We know what's holding up that MAGA cap, and it isn't gray matter."
Calling them brainless, that is direct.
He doesn't stop there. He mentions Stephen Miller, who was a senior advisor in the Trump administration, as an example of a psychopath. He says people like that make him wish for a tighter bell curve.
Tighter bell curve. Can we unpack that? That sounds like a statistics joke.
It is. A bell curve represents the normal distribution of a population. By wishing it was tighter, he's effectively saying he wishes the extremes of human behavior, the people he views as psychopaths or idiots, simply didn't exist.
He wishes the range of human variation was narrower to exclude them. And he also mentions seeing misspelled all caps comments on racist Russian bot posts.
Right.
So why does he go here? We're talking about a girl who got dumped because she isn't good at Call of Duty. Why is the author dragging Stephen Miller and Russian bots into this?
The Luv Doc is drawing a parallel between the boyfriend's demand for sameness and the political demand for ideological purity. He calls it indoctrination posing as intellect. He believes that whether it's a boyfriend demanding you love anime or a political movement demanding you wear a red hat, it's all the same poison. It's the death of critical thinking.
He calls groupthink dangerous and ultimately tedious.
Tedious. That is such a damning word from a writer. It means boring. He thinks a world where everyone agrees is a boring world.
And that boredom is what leads him to the science fiction reference. He brings up Vince Gilligan's Pluribus.
Yes, he calls it a science fictional world.
I assume most of the people listening haven't seen Pluribus. What is the core concept he's referencing there?
He poses a metaphysical question derived from that sci-fi concept. He asks, if a collective consciousness is simply a conglomeration of identical consciousnesses, isn't that just a singular consciousness?
Oh, okay, let's slow that down. If you and I think exactly the same thoughts and like the same things and react the same way,
then one of us is redundant.
we aren't two people anymore. We are just one person occupying two bodies.
Exactly. If there is no difference between us, there is no us. There is just me times two. In the context of the relationship, if Gamer's ex becomes exactly what her boyfriend wants, a gaming, anime-watching clone, she ceases to exist as a separate entity.
She just becomes an extension of him, the echo chamber made flesh.
Precisely. He calls these replicant couples. He admits that blissfully happy replicant couples might exist. He imagined them covering each other's six in World of Warcraft.
But he says he hasn't seen actual evidence of them in the wild. He seems to imply that if you see a couple that looks that perfect, it's a performance.
Or a delusion. He doesn't buy it.
So we have this massive philosophical takedown of sameness. Sameness equals boring, sameness equals creepy, sameness equals fascism. But Gamer's ex still needs advice. She's heartbroken, she misses the closeness. What does the Luv Doc actually tell her to do?
He advises a fast retreat. And to explain why, he uses a really interesting binary logic tree. He breaks it down into two possibilities.
Option A and option B. Let's look at option A first.
Option A is that the boyfriend is telling the truth. He genuinely believes his poppycock that a partner must share his interests to be valid.
And if that's the case?
If that's the case, the Luv Doc says you're never going to tick his boxes. Because you can't force yourself to genuinely love something you don't. You'll always be faking it.
You'll always be acting.
Right. And eventually, the mask will slip. Or he will sense that your enthusiasm isn't real. So failure is guaranteed.
Okay, so that's a dead end. What is option B?
Option B is the cynical one. Option B is that he doesn't actually believe his Balderdash. He knows it's nonsense that couples need to be identical.
But if he knows it's nonsense, why use it as a breakup reason? Why demand it?
The doc argues that he's using it as an excuse to keep you at arm's length. It's a manufactured barrier. If he sets a standard that is impossible for her to meet, he never has to get close to her.
And the Luv Doc gets really gritty here. He says if that's the case, he's keeping her around, quote, maybe available for the occasional meet space smash sesh.
Meet space. We have to pause on that word.
It's so specific. It's straight out of 1990s cyberpunk.
It refers to the physical world, the world of flesh and blood, as opposed to the virtual world or cyberspace.
By using it here, the Luv Doc is suggesting the ex-boyfriend views physical intimacy as just another transaction. It's dehumanizing.
It really is a smash sesh in meat space. It sounds so cold. It implies he doesn't want a girlfriend. He wants a physical outlet that doesn't interfere with the real work of gaming.
Exactly. It suggests she is just a body to him. So the logic holds up. If he believes the lie, option A, you lose because you can't be what he wants. If he's lying, option B, he's using you for sex and doesn't respect you.
There is no winning scenario for Gamer's ex.
None. That is why the advice is fast retreat. His final recommendation is blunt. If you can stomach keeping him as a friend, fine. But I recommend you seek someone else for a relationship.
It is amazing how we went from a simple question about hobbies to a full-blown critique of how we relate to each other as human beings.
It really highlights a tension in modern dating. Algorithms match us based on keywords. You like hiking, I like hiking, we match. But the Luv Doc is arguing that this is a trap.
It's the replicant trap. We are looking for mirrors, not partners.
And when we find a mirror, we feel safe. Oh, good. This person thinks exactly like me. They won't challenge me.
But as the Luv Doc suggests, that safety can become creepy. It can lead to a kind of stagnation where you never learn anything new because you're never challenged.
I keep thinking about the cooking detail. That really is the key, isn't it?
It is. Because cooking is creative, it's nurturing. But it wasn't on the list because it wasn't his territory. It wasn't about the activity. It was about the control. It was about her entering his world on his terms.
And when she entered his world gaming, she was punished for not being good enough. That's the opposite of love.
Completely.
Love should be, hey, cool, you're trying the thing I like. Thanks for trying. Not, you suck at this, my friends are laughing at you.
That behavior is what the doc might describe as the behavior of someone who needs a tighter bell curve. It lacks empathy. It lacks that crucial understanding that people are different, even when they look the same.
That quote stood out to me too. People are different, even when they look the same. It's a reminder that even if you find someone who checks every single box, they are still a completely separate universe of consciousness.
And trying to collapse that universe into yours is, as the doc says, creepy.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? I think it's a permission slip.
A permission slip for what?
A permission slip to be different. If your partner loves death metal and you love classical, that's not a bug, it's a feature. It means you have two soundtracks in your life instead of one.
And it protects you from the boredom of the singular consciousness. It keeps the mystery alive. If you know everything your partner knows, what is there to talk about at dinner?
Exactly. Did you see that anime episode? Yes, I was sitting right next to you. Okay, good talk.
Precisely. The friction of difference is what generates the heat in a relationship.
And also maybe a warning to watch out for the Balderdash.
Yes. If someone gives you an ultimatum that sounds like 16th century mixed liquors, unappetizing and nonsensical, trust your gut.
Or trust the 19th century Dutch slang, if it smells like soft poop.
It probably is.
This has been such a fun ride through a very weird text. We started with a breakup over video games, learned some very questionable etymology, visualized a beer and milk cocktail, and ended up debating the nature of free will and political conformity.
All in a day's work on the Luv Doc.
To wrap this up, the key takeaway here seems to be about the value of the individual. The Luv Doc, for all his cynicism and get off my lawn energy, is actually championing the idea that you should be you. You shouldn't have to shrink or shapeshift to fit into someone else's rigid list of requirements.
And that difference, that refusal to conform, is actually the safety valve for society. It stops us from sliding down that slope toward the masks and the hunting. It keeps us human.
So, here is a provocative thought to leave you with today. We talked a lot about the boyfriend demanding sameness, but let's flip the mirror. Think about your own relationships, romantic, platonic, even professional.
This is the uncomfortable part.
If we strive too hard to match our partners or our peers perfectly, are we actually connecting with them? Or are we just trying to create a mirror image of ourselves to feel safe? And at what point does that desire for safety stop being compatibility and start becoming, well, creepy?
It's a fine line between a soulmate and a replicant.
Make sure you're checking which one you're dating. Thanks for joining us for this Luv Doc.
See you next time.
To read the column that spawned this podcast, go to austinchronicle.com/columns/the Luv Doc. There are probably worse things to do with your time, right?